Now, infinite guitars time. Feature of the night. There's a reason I ran this game. Not just because it looked cool, but I want to talk about it a little bit at the start. Love 'em. Write myself some big checks that I can't cash right now. I do like a lot of games, and I am kind of okay at many of them. That is accurate. I do not know why I'm here. So this is a rhythm RPG. RPG with rhythm mechanics. Done by a developer, name of Nico. Yeah, the soundtrack to this game is amazing. A ton of people worked on this. So this game has an interesting scenario around it. Give me a sec to adjust my shades here. I guess I'm just going to stay down on my face. Okay. This game has had an interesting couple of weeks, or a few weeks, about a month since it launched. So most folks haven't heard about this game, or they have heard about it, but they haven't tried it. I have to do this before I go into my spiel. Hold on. So, mash the notes to play your guitar. Reconnect note. Alright. The mash is good. That's pretty good. Pretty good. So yeah, this game is kind of an interesting scenario right now in that, unlike most aqualounge features that I have run, this game is a big publisher. Game published by Humble. Which, I don't know, they're not the biggest indie publisher around, but Humble's a big name. Yeah. This animation is really good too. Interesting. Narrative choices impact your stats. So as I was saying, so good. This place is like swinging for the fences, like, I don't know. What's it called? Future Club? The ex Skullgirls folks? Can't remember. Gabe is now playing Tekken 7, apparently. I should really disable this. God, the animation budget on this is amazing. Extremely ambitious. Yeah, this world building is kind of moving hard and fast, and eventually when I get some time to move around without being talked at, go into my thoughts. Okay, there we go. So, this game had a big publisher, in the form of Humble. Okay, fine. Big spiel is coming, I promise. I have a habit of getting interrupted by these things. Big publisher. It's almost comical at this point. There we go. Game does know. Big publisher. Another thing about this game, Gamepass deal. This is on Game Pass. So, a game that was published by Humble on Xbox Game Pass, and I'm running it. And why am I running it? Well, you go to the Steam page for, well, I should preface this by saying I'm running it because I think it looks cool. But I also try to make a point of the things I run being kind of off the beaten path. So why am I running a game that is on Game Pass? Partially because I think it's cool, and partially because I want to make a point. This game's on Game Pass. It is a big publisher. And on the Steam page right now, which I'm going to link to, by the way, I tried to, by the way, tag the developer of this game to swing by tonight, but Nico was busy. A link to the Steam page for Infinite Guitars right now. The game's been out for a month. It has all its stuff. It has 13 reviews on Steam. 13. Now, Cross Sneak Plus, for those of you who are unfamiliar with my 2019 indie release, did just about well enough to give me my money back and not much more, and that game had a very small budget. Cross Sneak Plus has 73 Steam reviews. So how does a game with major power behind it from a big publisher, a deal with a platform service like gamepass, end up in a place where it gets 13 reviews? I don't know if I have an answer, but I do have some thoughts. But first, make sure we'll have time for some plot. Negative reviews. Yeah, it's true. From what it looks like, according to the reviews, let me see if I can open this door. I have to find the guitar. Let me talk to my grandpa first. I have one of the 3 written reviews for Cross Sneak Plus on Metacritic. It only needs 4 more to have a Metascore. Thank you. Much appreciated. Yes, people see 2D art and think that looks like a good Game Pass title, with all the baggage you can imagine. Yeah. Thoughts on... Well, let me do this guitar first, then I'll share my thoughts on Game Pass, and thoughts on the situation this game is in. I have some charge. Uh-oh. We got a big road. We got some stuff going on over here. Thank you for standing Cross Sneak Plus. Always. Thank you, white boy. Oh, we got jams. Ancient war was fought with jams. I think the glasses, the glasses are coming off for tonight. One day I'm going to come up with a way to fix those to my head that works. This world can feel like a mixtape. Oh, there it was! There was the You Make Me Feel So Good sample. I want to know where that's from. Well, somebody used it. I mean, somebody knows where it is. Now. Yeah, there it is. There's the sample. I gotta know where that's from. Yeah, that's one of the things that the reviews do say, is that there are some issues regarding synchronization. There's some things about this game and the situation that I think it's in. That there's the issue of Game Pass, which some folks brought up, and how Game Pass, while just like any other big initiative, when Game Pass was once a golden ticket. I'm on PC. I'm running this on my PC. I don't actually own a modern Xbox console, but yeah, the issue of Game Pass is that, just like any other thing, just like Steam Greenlight back in the day, or the Switch Store when the Switch first launched, what was once, a recipe for prosperity and visibility is quickly becoming crowded and oversaturated because these services never have a long-term game plan for visibility, because they don't have a financial impetus to create one. You get your feature, and then you have to share your elbow space with whoever else gets on Game Pass in that given week or month or whatever. And that's that. And then you're kind of lost in the abyss. And your income, I think, probably depends entirely on playtime, kind of like what they tried to do with Apple Arcade. So Game Pass is already kind of a deceptive status marker as it is. But the other thing I want to notice with this game is that if you look at the reviews, things that this, first of all, this is again, if Nico watches this, I just want to say, this game is awesome and you did a fantastic job. I am enjoying what I've played of it, and reviews about this or that be damned. You did an awesome job, and this game looks and feels fantastic, and the battle system's really fun from the little bit I've played so far. I'm probably going to play some more really quickly. But, I'll wait to finish my thoughts until after this. Not bad, not bad. Good enough. Listening to the death of the game's marketplace here in a commentary over this music. Yeah, a little morbid, perhaps. But, if you look at the reviews on this game, look at what the things say. They say things like bugs, glitches, second half of the game feels rushed, or, audio synchronization issues, tech issues, etc. Let me tell you from experience that these are all symptoms of problems that have solutions that for one reason or another were not implemented. Why weren't they implemented? I have a theory. Budget. I have a theory that because video games have gotten so cheap, and dev costs keep going up for various reasons. Something's got to give, and I think that game budgets are not keeping pace with the complexity and cost of production. Now, I don't want to speak for Nico, but I think that money might have been an issue for this game in the end. And the only reason I'm bringing this up, because this is a pattern I'm beginning to see amongst a lot of smaller releases. There were 2 different games that I wanted to run for aqualounge. I can't recall the name of one of them, but another one was a game called Mile High Taxi. Some of you might have seen it. It's essentially Crazy Taxi in the world of the Fifth Element. That was going to be a feature, and I opted not to stream it because the finished game looked really rushed and unfinished. I don't know if that had a publisher or not, but I have a feeling that because something's got to give, and gamers aren't willing to pay more for smaller games, especially when the obvious solution for big titles is that they raise the MSRP to $70. And that's that. And Nintendo's doing that now with Tears of the Kingdom, and they're going to do that with their other flagships for sure. But for smaller games, what are you going to do? The devaluation has already been set in for like a decade. Where are you going to squeeze? And I think budgets are where they're getting squeezed, and I think that that's happening to games that are mid-production cycle. Because we're seeing a lot of indie games come out right now that have been really hyped up, and then when they come out, they're kind of a mixed bag, and they all kind of have the same symptoms, you know? Bugs, peters out in the last act, or feels unfinished. Lack of polish here and there, or lack of script editing is another one. These are all signs of a truncated development cycle. And when you're looking at the score or reviews of games, keep that in mind. Keep the context in mind. And let that inform your thoughts on it, more so than gamers being angry about this or that, because that never helps anybody. Or talking about how developers are scamming you out of this or that, because that's bullshit, frankly. I don't need to spend a charge, I'm good. But I think it's interesting context, and I would have been curious to hear what Nico had to say about it, although I bet he couldn't say much. What with publisher agreements and all, but I could be wrong. But I just have a sneaking suspicion that this is a pattern just due to industry movement in that direction. So, yeah, it is troubling, especially because it feels like there's no real infrastructure up to the task. There's no infrastructure up to the task. None of the storefronts are really concerned about visibility. None of the storefronts are really concerned about essentially the big means holders right now, the big platform holders and the biggest of publishers, like Devolver just bought another studio. They hold all the cards right now in a way that they didn't 10 years ago. And I think that seeing those budgets shrink and seeing that affect the quality of finished games, the edges getting rougher, I think that's a pattern. And I think that this game is an example of that pattern. It is an example of how you can have a great game, because the core of this game is really awesome, that gets affected by these macro industry conditions. And that no matter how big your partners are, it can still happen to you. And the visibility situation is just so dire, you can end up having Microsoft and Humble on your back and having 13 reviews on Steam. Anyway, support your favorite developers and buy their stuff. Ow. This hurts. charge, please. Thank you. Once again, you know, I try to keep my simping and begging and hustling for subs and donations and stuff to a minimum on the stream, because I do want to try to make this self-sufficient eventually. But the thing I want the most, always, and I will say this every time, pick a game you like tonight and spend some money on it. If you want to take Infinite Guitars as it is and appreciate the good things about it, even though it has production difficulties that make it not as finished or polished as it could be, do it. Do it anyway. Buy what makes you feel good. Don't buy as some way of, I don't know, conveying merit. That makes sense. Your purchase is not an endorsement. Support what makes you feel good, what you find interesting, even if it's got rough parts. That includes this stream. Gamepass devs have been talking favorably about long-term attention. Interesting. Well, let's hope that's true. Although I don't really know what Microsoft is doing to keep games visible in the long term on Game Pass. Because, you know, from my experience, you get your feature when you get added, and that's about it, right? So, I don't really know if they have any secret sauce for that. I am curious to learn about that if they do. They have some kind of algorithmic tailoring, like kind of make it kind of a Netflix. Of course, the implications of Game Pass itself are so large and dire that there's so much we're not ready for and how it's going to affect the economics of this industry. But since it's here, I might as well try to get to the bottom of that. It does interest me. These parts are difficult. For God's sakes. Will I make it out of here alive? It's hard to dodge these when you are not. Yeah, I think that might be it. Press A to continue. Oh, that's cute. Alright, we're good. What? Oh. Okay, we're active again. Yeah, there is selection bias there, but I do wonder if there is any, I don't know, at least an attempt to semi-curate, even if it's imperfect, even if it's like Netflix algorithm stuff. Because right now, with all the other existing shops, there's just none of that. It's just total no man's land. Frankly, out of all of them, I think the state of the Nintendo eShop is absolutely disgraceful. Not like talking about quality of software, talking about quality of care in the storefront. That is one of, I don't know, the things that I have huge issues with Nintendo about right now. If they are viewing themselves as the marquee platform for accessible games, they should start acting like it. The PlayStation Store also doesn't seem great. Again, Microsoft, because of its history as a software company, I think, is the only one that seems to really understand the importance of investing in your infrastructure in general. Sony has a big problem with software across the board, not just in PlayStation. Playdate. Playdate's charming. So I think about Playdate. Sold better than they thought it would, which is good. I think it's a cute little boutique thing. I think it's mostly serving other developers right now, and I think that Panic is cool with that. And so, I don't know. If they're cool with that, that's fine. I don't really have any interest in making a game for a platform like that, but some people do. And like, I wouldn't say no if I had infinite time. I just don't. The Crank is really cute though, and the folks at Playdate seem like good folks, or the folks at Panic rather. Or is it Panic Button? Can't remember. My memory's so bad. I have to say, a game in 2023 that requires players to use the claw grip on the face buttons is quite something. Oh, alright. Glad I stuck with it. That was pretty cool. Iron Giant, what happened? Squid Games. Or Rhythm Games, actually. Well, that's a good chunk of infinite guitars. What do I think about this game? I really like it. I can see that it is a bit rougher around the edges than people were perhaps anticipating. I have a feeling that it's a bit rougher around the edges than Humble was anticipating. But, hey, they paid for it, and they got what they paid for, which I think is, I don't know, the style over sanded edges. But it's true to its convictions. I like that. Oh, he actually followed up and played PQ after I ran it on stream. Nice. Yeah, PQ is a little bit insulting, but I kind of like that about it. probably should call it soon. These streams just keep getting longer and longer and longer. No wonder I keep losing people, but that's okay. There's just a lot of good stuff. Maybe I'll have to, I don't know, maybe to keep the stream shorter, maybe I'll have to reduce the number of things I run in one go. But I don't do this very often, so whatever. It's fun. I always have fun doing this. I always have, oh, limit break, level 2, nice. I always have fun running this, and I always have fun chatting later into the night with you all, so thanks for hanging out. Much appreciated. As far as infinite guitars, even if it suddenly gets really unfinished in its second half, I still think this is worth 20 bucks. Soundtrack is great. The animation is fantastic. It's like some of the best I've seen during the cutscene bits in a game of its budget or caliber. So, would I pay 20 bucks for this when I paid 60 bucks for Mario Strikers Battle League? You betcha. That's better. Drop D? I don't know. Drop D? Drop D's nuts? Not familiar. Drop D. Well, I think that's probably going to be it for me, folks. Yeah. A claw. That was Infinite Guitars. An interesting game with an interesting premise that came out at an interesting time. Again, if Nico watches this, I don't want the circumstances around the game to define my impression of it. I really love what's here. I just thought it was worth talking about. And, your game has my support. And, got a couple other players tonight, so I'm just here doing what I want to do. And that's getting the word out about cool stuff like this that, for some reason or another, gets lost in the shuffle. I mean, I don't know. You gotta watch out for creators when that happens. So, cool beans. Thank you. Thank you. Excellent commentary. Really, I'm just kind of firing off the hip. But, that'll be it for me. Again, in summary, for a second streamer. It's official. Know anybody who's a good fit? Steer them my way. Figure it out from there. Any Cable 2 folks stuck around after the raid, thank you for sticking around. Until then, I'll probably see ya about a month. Maybe the tech changeover will be done by then. I'll be able to play some more Unreal games. I want to run Kitten Burst again, for sure. There's some other ones I got on my list too, but until then, y'all take it easy, get out there and enjoy the good weather. Good night, folks.